This is the 300th week of GrowingDeer.tv. We've never had a repeat episode and never missed a week during the past 300 weeks. We've been blessed with health, lots of subjects, and a great audience. Thanks for being part of our team. We receive a lot of questions about opportunities to join the Growing Deer team. If you enjoy videoing your hunts or just want to be more involved with the Growing Deer team, check out the field staff option. There are no hidden fees and it's easy to join. Simply go to our webpage and click on the field staff links.
Growing Deer TV is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops, also by RECONYX, Trophy Rock, Eagle Seed, Nikon, Winchester, Set Master, Dead Downwind, Antler Dirt, LACROSSE Footwear, Whitetail Properties, Blood Sport Arrows, Outdoor Edge Knife, Flatwood Natives, Morel Targets, Caldwell, Hooks Custom Calls, Montana Decoy, Summit Tree Stands, Drake Non-Typical Clothing, House Lubricator Products, LEM Game Processing, G5 Broadheads, Prime Bows, Redneck Hunting Blinds.
This time of year, a couple weeks before season opens, I'm still using the blind bell technique just to get that muscle memory locked in and have perfect form. But in addition, I like shooting 3D targets. I like focusing on that kill zone and not on a dot. A deer's not gonna have a dot come this fall, and it really helps me to focus on tucking in right behind that shoulder in the lower third of the body cavity. Most of us hunt from an elevated blind or a tree stand, and there's a little bit difference in your shooting form when you're shooting from an elevated position to shooting off the ground. You wanna bend your body, because if you just stand here and crank your bow down, it changes all the physics. Remember, we did blind bell just to get the form exactly right. So you want to bend at the waist, keep everything up here exactly the same. I consider practicing from an elevated position critical before we go deer hunting. It gives me the confidence I need when that big buck is below my stand. We receive a lot of pictures of bucks with an obvious injury, and usually there's a question with the picture that asks, should this buck be put on my hit list? You may recall for several years I chased a buck we'd named Split Brow. Split Brow was easy to identify on the RECONYX pictures because he was blind in one eye. During the years he was blind, his rack increased in size, and he obviously was very good at avoiding hunters. Split Brow was blind and on our hit list for 3 years before I finally tagged him. Whitetails can clearly survive most injuries that would knock humans off their feet. Split Brow is a perfect example. This year, another buck has showed up on a RECONYX that's blind in one eye. He's a good-looking buck, but all the pictures so far pretty much show him facing the camera, and Adam or I haven't been able to accurately estimate his age.
Deer season is less than a month away for us, and it's going to be opening up soon for a lot of hunters. And what that means, there's going to be a lot of guys climbing up the tree and getting in their deer stands.
Every year I receive emails from multiple hunters that have had a tree stand accident and can no longer hunt.
There's 4 main components that keep us safe on every hunt: a full body harness, a rock solid stand that's not going to move when we're climbing in and out of the tree, a safe line, and a lineman's rope. These 4 components allow us to be harnessed in from the ground up to the tree, throughout the hunt, and back down to the ground. This lineman's rope gives you a little more mobility than staying locked into the safe line the entire hunt. It's got a knot on one end, another knot on the other. Basically, you loop it around the tree like so. And so this is around the tree. You lock it in as tight as possible. Then you have whatever's left over hanging down. You can slide up and down depending on whatever's comfortable for you. The only time we're not attached to the tree is the half second that we're unclipping from the safe line and clipping into the lineman's rope. Gives you more mobility. It's a must for any bow hunter.
Even more important than practicing with your bow or developing a hit list, make sure your tree stand safety gear is in working order and you use it every time you climb a tree. This is a transition time year. We're getting ready to start deer season, we're working on our hit list, and we're practicing with our bows. But one thing we won't do much more of is treat weeds.
Coming up on the end of August, you can see behind me the beans have really come on strong. They're waist tall, full canopy. For a lot of us that have planted Roundup Ready soybeans, we're probably done spraying them for the year, so it's time to clean up the sprayer. Once we use all the herbicide, we're going to fill the tank back up with water, put some tank cleaner in there, really get it cleaned out. But now we're going to move on to a more important task, and that's cleaning out the pump and the control valve. It's the back side of the tractor, and that's where we have our PTO pump and our control valve. Both these parts have a lot of metal components. Replacing parts can be fairly costly. That's why we're going to take these off today and take care of them and get them ready for the winter. The way this pump works is as this spins, it's taking in fluids on this end, going through the unit, back out this end. So the way we're going to winterize it is use a high quality lubricant, put a little on this end, give it a few turns, and it should be good to go. Now that we've taken care of the pump, we're back here at the control panel. There's a lot of small metal parts in here, so it's very important that we take care of it, get all the rust removed, and get it lubricated for the winter. Taking it apart. A couple metal parts here that I want to make sure I get the rust removed, clean it up. I'm going to use steel wool or wire brush. I'll spray both parts down. Once I've removed all the rust and I have it lubricated, I'm going to put it back together and know that it's going to be ready next spring when it's time to head back out.
Don't just flush out your sprayer. Make sure and use a high quality lubricant to treat every part that moves, especially the pump. Perfect timing at the barn wall today because it's just starting to rain. Adam's going back to planting and I'm running the camera back up to the office. I hope you do what we do every day, slow down and enjoy creation, but most importantly, listen to what the Creator is saying to you. Thanks for watching GrowingDeer.tv.
And we've had some of these hunters. Okay, some of these hunters. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I got buzzed. He went. One thing we all need to understand: every time we climb up